Okay, so the NDA stuff has lifted. Yes, Blizzard had their big event about WoW Classic. Yes, I was invited to it. I obviously did not go to it, though. And the whole situation was really damn messy, cost me a whole bunch of time, and it basically all stems from big miscommunication at Blizzard about what they could and couldn't tell me. It is no individual at Blizzard's fault, although it's a pretty frustrating situation, and frankly, yeah, Blizzard are like 10 years behind the times in terms of how they actually work with people. It's very hard to work with Blizzard. They generally, and this is not like their staff, but just like as a sort of company culture and way of being, it often just feels like they feel like the people they work with should be getting down on their knees and, sort of begging them, which is not really true because at the end of the day, look, like Blizz on my other channel and that's really not true because at the end of the day, it's like, Blizz, I drive 7 million views to you in a month where your expansion launches. We both know how much money that helps generate you, so come on, work with. Now, Blizzard actually seemed like they did reach out to me after this whole thing went down, and were very positive and very, very good, so I think this is not a long-term, blip or problem. But basically what happened is, so first is I thought I was going to go to a summit they had the month in April for the WoW people, the thing that Preach was originally supposed to go to. They were thinking of sending me to that. Then I think they tried to send Preach. Then, of course, that whole thing went tits up. And then I think T&E went. Now, as for this event in May, yeah, so I was obviously under an NDA for that. This is why I couldn't really tell you. And they would not tell me what the event was. They spoke in extremely vague terms, even after I signed the NDA. Extremely vague terms about, wink, wink, you'll wish you went there, and all of that stuff. And so I kind of felt like, right, I'm going to say yes, I'm going to go to this, sure. And they were like, oh, yeah, okay, well, we've bought the tickets and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, okay, I mean, I'm really suspicious if this is a repeat of the last event that you sent me to for many different reasons. I will be very unhappy. I was extremely clear about what I wanted from the event and just what the situation was, how it costs a hell of a lot for me to go for 4 days, considering I'm running a games company and 2 YouTube channels. And I made it extremely clear, basically, all of my stuff. And they were like, yeah, no, don't worry, even with that, you definitely want to go. And then, of course, a week and a bit before the event happens, Nazjatar gets released in the PTR. And basically at that stage, all of the next patch is on the PTR. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, hang on a second. You told me there'd be all this exclusive World of Warcraft, like live game stuff that would be exclusive for people who are at that event. Yet the entire PTR is there. I mean, is this going to be like the last time I went to a Blizzard event and the big exclusive scoop that I was supposed to play was something that was on the public test realms that I'd been playing for a month already? Because believe me, as much as it might seem like it's a really hype thing to, you get flown to the Blizzard campus and all that stuff, at the end of the day, what those events are actually like is I fly 12 hours to somewhere, I'm completely wrecked, I collapse in a hotel, wake up the next morning, I do work at their campus. Like, it's actually work. And then because there was an embargo, I have to crunch loads of work for the next bunch of days. So it is actually a massive ask, and as much as it's all like, you get flown out, it's not some glitzy thing you should be thankful for. It's you're getting winged in a plane to do work somewhere else, just that guess what, you're not actually getting paid for that work, and it's an iffy situation, and most of the people I've talked to about those events don't actually like them that much. But anyway, so it's rapidly becoming apparent to me that this event is a giant, giant nothing burger, and there's really not that much there. And I was sort of beginning to suspect, hang on, this is all about WoW Classic, which my audience doesn't really care about that much. Now, I know many of the people who are listening to this video will care a lot about WoW Classic, and actually, I care a lot about WoW Classic as well. But I've got to think about what my overall audience wants, and from all of the videos that I've done in the past about Classic, where I've been really hyped about it, it's maybe 50%, 40%, 30% of the audience are into that. So it's becoming super apparent to me that this is a thing, and I basically said to Blizzard, listen, here's my ultimatum. Tell me what this event is going to be. Tell me the nature of the things you're going to talk about. If not, I won't go. They would not tell me, and I said, okay, I'm not going. To which they then said, well, this would negatively affect your future working relationship with us, blah, blah, blah. To which I was basically like, listen, you don't, I mean, that plane ticket is 0 in comparison to the amount of money I have made your company. Hello, please, what are you doing? Then another branch of Blizzard, and I'm leaving names out of this on purpose. You'll probably know who everyone involved was if you like watch WoW stuff. Then another branch of Blizzard reached out to me and said, whoa, what is going on? Are you okay? What's going on here? What? And then I said, yeah, the other branch wouldn't tell me anything about this, even though I signed the NDA, to which that group from Blizzard said, oh, well, that was literally the point of the NDA that you signed. We wanted you to know exactly what you were going to be doing at this event before you agreed to go there, because it's only fair, because it's a pre-travel NDA, and they seem to understand, oh, that's actually a big bother, not being able to do your job for 4 days and having 2 transatlantic flights and being jet-lagged and all that jazz. And then I actually find out about what the event was, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that just wouldn't really be a big thing for my audience, frankly. I really appreciate the invite, though. And don't worry, I want to work with you guys in the future. All of that stuff. We're good. So, me and Blizzard, we're good. That is totally a confirmed thing. Me and Blizz are good. But it was basically just a massive miscommunication within Blizzard internally. Now, the problem with that was I spent about 300 quid on stuff for that event, and it's really good that I pulled out when I did, because I was about to spend about 850 on just some new equipment so I could properly do my job when I was over there. So it didn't cost me that much other than a whole bunch of time. That is what bumped back one of our deep dives. That basically gutted a bit of our schedule for a while, which... yeah, essentially that's what went on. That's what happened. That's why things are really messy. I think the core of it is Blizzard is an ancient, lumbering organization. Its left hand and its right hand aren't talking to each other, and sometimes that can mean that dealing with Blizzard, like just on a professional level, because I know that, it is on a professional level, basically. It's not like I'm going there as a fan, getting a tour of the campus, geeking out about it. It's like, no, I'm going there because you guys have an event. You want me there as an asset to cover that event, because ideally it's mutually beneficial for your business and my business. That's what that sort of event actually is from, it might seem different, I guess, sort of outside of doing the content coverage, but that's kind of what it's like. It's like, imagine if NVIDIA invited Linus Tech Tips out to an event and the event was a total waste of time. Then for Linus would be like, well, I was not able to host a bunch of videos. My team wasted a bunch of work. That's awful. It's kind of more of a situation like that. Of course, no ill will to anyone over at Blizzard. I like all of the people that I was, talking to a great deal. It was just that it was one of those things of corporate communications and bumping up against policies, and it's all a big old mess. And working there seems like it must be a real nightmare. I've heard stuff about, just constantly bumping up against bureaucracy and stuff, but it kind of just seemed like we were getting hit by that. But basically, that's why there was the big delay. That's what the crack is. It's only right that I let you know, so now you know. And we've been able to get back to work since. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this at least interesting, bit of an insight into how this stuff works. And with that, I'll see you next time.